Okay, I've started this project. I want to make one of those Valentine envelopes. And I didn't buy it, well, because I have a subscription to Creative Fabrica. I went in and I typed in envelope and I got this. This was the SVG. And I took it into Silhouette Studio and I enlarged it. And I want to tell you guys, I've said it before, Silhouette Studio is free. The basic version is free. And you can download it free and you can use it to resize your patterns. I mean, you don't have to pay for it. It's free. Now, I did print this out on a 12 by 12 sheet of this cardstock, and then well, actually, I went ahead and let my Cameo cut it out. But if I didn't have the Cameo, I would have, you know, where I take my lines, where it has an outline, and I go over to thickness of my lines, and I make the black, the outline of it, a little thicker. So when I print this out, of course I have a large format printer also, but I print it out, and if I didn't have a Cameo, I would just do it with scissors, which I did with my hearts that I'm going to use. But Silhouette Studio is free. If you need to enlarge or make a pattern smaller or something, you can use it to make your own patterns just like I do. But this is an envelope, as you can see, and it's my pattern, but I think I'm going to decorate the pattern too. Once I'm done with this one, I think I'm going to do this. It's sturdier, okay? But I have my little iron here, and this side of my material, I sprayed it with some coffee spray so it didn't look brand new and kind of dingy. I dingied it up. So I think I'm going to need to spray right up in here so when the envelope is folded, it'll have the same look as this. My sprayer is not working too well. Now that will be better than none at all. I'm just going over it while it's wet. That's backside's probably going to be covered more, but I didn't want it totally. And it'd work better if my sprayer was working better, but it's a little cheapy. But I have my coffee, just coffee and water in, instant coffee. Okay, so now I'm going to recrease these with my iron. I think I got a little carried away. Maybe I did cut that one out by hand. Let's see. My head keeps getting in the light. Need to come back some, I think. To that corner, to that corner. I'm going to go ahead and crease that. That corner to that corner. Don't have to iron it, but that way it stays shut better. Bring this one up like that. I'm going to crease this. Now I'm not going to use hot glue on this. I'm going to get my fabric tack and just glue it shut, or on the fold lines. Okay, I just want to go along the edge of that and along the edge of that. I'm trying to get out of the light. Should have had this out, waiting for it to run down in the nozzle. Okay. I like to use Fabric-Tac. Okay. Now that I can see where I'm at, I'll put some right along the edge. All right. Now, I made different size hearts. This is just on plain copy paper. And you can see I thickened the lines in Silhouette Studio. And I just printed them out on just a 8.5 by, 8.5 by 11 sheet of copy paper. And then I did cut them out. And then, oh, I don't have my glue gun on. Where is my other pattern? I set one. There it is. There it is. And then I just cut me out some little hearts with my pattern. And I did take my glue gun and go around, and I left the side open so I could just stuff it a little bit. That's what I've done with that, and I've made so far these hearts. This one, the first one I done, I did in red, and I just hand stitched around it. I do like the way it looks, but it was just simpler to hot glue them down. I was going to take them to the sewing machine, but it was late at night last night when I was trying to figure out what I was doing. And it's so dark in here, I can't see very well where my sewing machine's at. So I just chose to hot glue them. And now I'm going to gather up some things and kind of start stuffing this envelope. Well, I don't know what with yet. I thought I had more than that done. I think I'm going to have to make me some more hearts. I need a larger one than this. Let's see if I've done that and that. And this one. I'll have to get to putting it together before I really know how I'm going to do it. But that's a start. No, Kit Kat. Here you come. Okay, I'm going to pull out some stuff to stuff this with and get some other items. And I think I'm going to make a few more. I'm trying to see, where did I lay my heart patterns? I just had them. Oh, right here. The biggest one I done. I think I want a little bit bigger one. It's probably that one. Let's see. I think I need some this size. Just maybe a couple done this size. Just a little bit bigger. Maybe if I had the one large one back there, then like that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to trace this off, and I'll come back after my glue gun is hot, and I'll show you how I done that. Alright, I am going to go around my envelope with some, what is this? I think it's vintage photo. Yeah, the vintage photo. I meant to pick up some more of this when I was in Hobby Lobby this last well, over New Year's vacation, and I forgot it. I'm going to have to start writing a list and have it on my phone. I think that looks better than just being plain. Gives it a little definition. And I have so much stuff pulled out, I don't have room to work. Because I don't know what I'm going to use. Let's kind of work that down where it's not all in a straight line. Okay, I've just about got that finished. I think that looks better than being plain. Okay, put that away. I need to get that off my workspace area. Oh, that goes in that box. It goes in there. Now, I think with this one, I'm going to use the Spanish moss. And I thought with the envelope, the paper envelope, that might look cute with the seltzer in it. I don't know. I might do Spanish moss on both of them. Don't know. I've got it pulled out in case I need it. So I am going to stuff this with some Spanish moss. And boy, this stuff gets messy, as you all know. It's got leaves in it. That's kind of what will hold it open. Enough. A little over there on the side. I may have to pull some out or put more in. I don't know yet. I may have to kind of put some hot glue right there, kind of hold that together. But I'll wait till I'm all finished with it to see. And I've got a mess. Holy moly, it's all over me. Trying to hurry. Okay, now what am I going to do? Put the hearts in? Oh, I put that. What did I do? I'm going to have to go around this one too, because it just doesn't, it's just too bright. What color do I want to use on it? That is the one I used. That's tea dye. Let's see, I may want to go a little darker. I'm going to pull my walnut out, the walnut color. I don't know which one I'll use. I am going to do it on the back side and see. I wanted to kind of pull some threads out too. Because with those, I know when I use my finger sander, cover that up. Just going to go around it a little bit. It won't make a lot of difference, but it'll do something. Because I did that around all of these, and they have just a little bit sticking out. Kind of ruffled it a little bit, so it's not just a blunt cut. Not doing it as well on this red. Some of it is. Well, it's not as blunt cut looking. This is what's going to be showing. Okay. What color? I'm going to do it on the back. See. I don't know. Which color did I get? I got the dark walnut because I figured it'd take something a little darker. Okay, I'm going to try to get a little heavier around the very edges. I don't really need to worry too much about the bottom, I guess. All right. Okay, that kind of tones that down. And I'll leave my ink pads out just in case I need them again. Do I have, yeah. All right, now to start putting it together. I may not need as many as I thought I did because you get that filler in there. This is kind of where I need to set it up some. Well, then y'all can't see what I'm doing. I think about like that. So I'm going to need this to come up some. That one more up like that? No. I'm going to kind of put stuff in it and see what I'm doing before I start gluing everything down. I do have this little bit of Sweet Annie that I pulled out in a jar just so I can get to it faster. Don't want great big pieces. I'm telling you, get a bag of the Sweet Annie. Well, of course I grew this, but it just lasts. If you're using it for just craft projects, it really lasts. Well, I'm not sure. Oh, I don't know. Well, you know what? Instead of having y'all sit here and watch me fiddle with this, I'm going to try to group it together and kind of show you what it looks like. I might use some of this stuff too. Do y'all remember this? In the fall, I went out and this was along the fence and I cut some of it off. And I've let it dry the whole time. And I mean, it has stayed nice. I did spray it with some hairspray. Some of it had purple, a purple cast to it. And then some of it had the yellow whitish cast to it. But I might put some of that in there. That was just out in the yard. It's pretty. It's better than paying for it. Okay, I'm going to mess with this and get this kind of how I want it. And I'll come back and show it to you, and then we'll do some other embellishment on it. Well, here's what I've done so far on the inside. And now I think I'm just going to make a kind of a messy bow, probably to hang right in here. And I did get this little doily out. I was wondering, but I'm going to wait till my bow's done. I didn't know. Thought maybe I would put that there. But I'm going to make a bow right fast and see how it's going to look. I'll set that right up there. Get that out of my way. Well, I'm going to need to see. I just pulled out a bunch of ripped up stuff. Let's see. I don't want it real big. I just want a small one. That's probably about the size I need right there. Now, I'll set that aside. Cut up a bunch of these. They're kind of thin. This is some cheesecloth that you can't really unravel it because it wants to tear apart. So, and I was thinking it might need just a little bit of different color. Do up some of these. Am I in frame or I'm just out? Probably. Okay. Boy, strings everywhere. Probably won't use all that. It'd be too much, but I have it. Okay. Now, I showed you this, but I got out, there's some, the Sweet Annie, and then some of the stuff that I found in the yard that I had dried. Put that in there, and then some pip berries. And I think it turned out really cute. Am I in frame? I can't really tell. Okay, we'll set that aside. Where'd my scissors go? Get me a piece of string or jute and start putting this together. I'm going to put a little black there. And let's get a piece of lace. Some of that. This. That shows up. I didn't get any of this. Did I cut some up? Yes. I'm going to call that good. I think that's thick enough. Got that tied in the middle on some of it not. Yeah, I think that's thick enough. I'll just leave that hanging. Okay. I think that's good. Let's see if that shows. Yeah, I think it's just an added little touch. It doesn't show a lot, but it is an added touch. Pull it down a little bit. I think I'll just go ahead and glue it like that. Okay. I do need to get some cheesecloth coffee dyed. I am just out of it. That one's a little long because I got it short over there. Okay, I did. And now I need to make a tag. I got this ready to go, I think. One time I was at a thrift store and had a whole box of these tags. And I bought it. I don't remember, it was $1 or $2. But I mean, there's probably 1,000 of them in there. And I always forget to use them. But I sprayed this with some of my coffee mixture that's in the spray bottle. And it wasn't dark enough, so I just sprinkled a little bit of, while it was wet, sprinkled some more instant coffee granules on it. And then just done that to it. I'm trying to figure out which side I want to use. I think I like that one. And then I'm using the stamps. I have this stamp set here, the Iron Orchid letterpress stamps. And I use this one big one and then the rest in the lowercase. And I put it on here, and I'm going to use some Stays On. I need some material to stamp on. Well, there, I was doing it with that. I just want to make sure I'm getting a, yeah. All right. Yeah, that worked. Now I need to wipe this off. Now, tie that on with a piece of jute. Well, I have this key I wanted to do. I should have had that done. It's just a little silver key. I don't like the silver, so I'm going to put a little black and gold on it. This stuff sure smells. I'm going to turn off the camera and hit that with my heat gun to kind of dry it. And then I'm going to put a little gold over it. Okay, I just tied the key to the jute, and then I've just put that on there like that. Just stuck one side in and tie this knot. Well, one knot. I'm going to do it again so it doesn't come undone. Tie a knot in the top. There's one coming through. Okay. Now, where am I going to attach it? Just kind of like that. I like it down there, but it's too far down. The key doesn't show. Maybe I'll put it right there and then kind of glue it right there where it lays like that. Hold that down on there. Let that dry a bit. That way the key will show and the love. Okay, I think that turned out cute. It just took me a while to figure out where I wanted everything. But I like the way it turned out. Wished I'd have tied my bow a little tighter. But it was easy to make, and it was stuff I had around here, and I like it. All right, I don't know if I'm going to do this one. I don't know. I think I'm just going to move on to my next project, which is with a shingle, and it's going to be a Valentine also, and I got to figure out how I'm doing it. Okay, this is just a wood shingle that I trimmed down. I don't like the color of it, so I'm going to use my vinegar and steel wool mixture. Just put some vinegar, white vinegar, in a jar, fill it up, and drop a fine steel wool down in it, and I leave it setting for a week or two till it gets a darker color. And it will change the color of my wood. And I'm not sure really if I'm going to leave the wood. It just depends on what color it comes out when it dries. But I'm going to do this right fast, and I got to set it aside and let it dry and see what color it comes out. That will, okay, I'm going to set that aside and let it dry and see what color it changes to. Cheap way to make your wood look old. And then I was going to go out in the garage and cut out a wood heart, but it's cold out there. And I remembered I had this little piece of corrugated paper I got at Hobby Lobby, and I've used it for, what did I use that for? Oh, I know. One time I made one of these. I got it hanging here. I forgot all about it. I used it for wings on my clothespin angel. It was $1.99, but I'm sure when I bought it, it was probably 50% off. But I used it on that and then something else. But I just took my pattern, my heart pattern, traced it off on there. And now I'm going to cut this out. And I'm sure I'll be painting it also. I'm going to cut this out and let that wood dry and start figuring out how I'm going to decorate this board. I'm going to coat this good with this elephant color, let it dry, and then go back over it with the metallic silver by Folk Art. Alright, I've hit that with the heat gun. I think it's dry enough to start in on trying this once again. Yeah, it's coming out metallic looking this time. Last time, see that? It was just coming out gray looking. And I kept putting the lid on it and shaking it, and it still wasn't working. I thought, I've used that. It's almost gone. It's never done that before. So finally got a stick and got down in there good and started scrubbing. Because I'm wanting this corrugated cardboard to kind of look like a tin. I'll probably have to give this 2 coats. But I'll let it dry first and we'll see. I think I need a new bottle of it because it's not working like it did the first time I mean when I used to use it. It's pretty old. I'm going to let this one dry and I'm going to give it another coat of the metallic, and if it doesn't work, I'm giving up and, I don't know, painting it something else. But I wanted it to look like metal. I started out, when I was doing this, I was going to cut it out of wood. It's so cold in the garage, I decided to do this corrugated cardboard that I had got at Hobby Lobby. Alright, I'm going to hit that with a heat gun and give it another coat, and then I'll be back. Well, I believe this is dry now, so I'm going to take some Mod Podge. I wish this had a shaker on it. And I'm going to try to rust it up some. around the edges. Let's see how that's going to look. Just sprinkling cinnamon on it with when it comes out, it comes out. Put some right there. Okay, when that dries, I'm kind of brush it back and see if it needs more spots hit somewhere. All right, I'm gonna let that dry now. And I still haven't figured out whether I'm going to paint on my board or leave it plain. Now, I've started going over, you can see like right in there, kind of brushed it away, and then I've started going over with a top coat of the cinnamon. And it turns it more rustic looking. Now, I've got to let that dry. But it'll turn out looking like this right in here. You see that? Alright, I have decided on my board I'm going to dry brush it. Because I took a piece of burlap and traced around this a little larger. And I think I'm going to put the burlap on it, but I'm going to dry brush it and see what it looks. And I'm using my Dixie Belle Mineral, and I'm about out. I have some on order, but with the weather and where I live, UPS doesn't come out here all that way, 12 miles in on a dirt road normally. But if my husband's in town working and he spots his pickup, well, he won't be leaving it in his pickup because he got a new pickup until he learns what kind of pickup he's driving. So it may be a while before I get it. But I am going to dry brush this on there. And I'll go light at first, and then if I think I want more, I'll go darker. Now I'm not getting enough on my brush. This is a different chippy brush. I need to move that. Because I still want my wood to look old. I don't want to cover it completely. Unless I don't like the way it looks. And I redo it. I might want it heavier than that. I'm not sure. Let's see. Not sure if I want it to go heavier or maybe sand it down a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to work on it a bit and see what I think. Maybe I just want to go ahead and paint the board and then kind of sand it back. But this brush is really chippy, so I need to set it aside. Yeah, I think I'm going to go a heavier coat and then maybe sand it back. better move my stuff before I paint it. I don't know. I watch Ladies Craft Live, like on Facebook, and they have like 45 minutes to an hour to finish a project. That never worked for me, because everything I go to do, I change, or something doesn't work. It's just barely damp. And I think that's showing the heart up a little better. I might sand it back just a little bit when it dries and see what it looks like. But I've got to let it dry. In the meantime, I'm going to set that aside and let it dry. And I need to, this is Teflon, so it won't stick to this if I use my hot glue gun. Gonna get that on there where I've got some on each side. Doesn't have to be perfect. Running out of glue stick. This is wanting to curl up, and got to hold it down so it doesn't curl up off of the burlap. Yeah, gotta hurry because hot glue dries fast. Okay, that is on there good, I think. Yeah, it is. Now let's see. It's still wet, so I'm gonna let this dry, or probably hit it with the heat gun. Go over it and see what I'm going to do. I'm not particularly, I wanted to leave it looking but it's not popping on me. It's just not doing it for me right now. Well, I took this out to the garage and distressed the edges and went over it with a coat of the Minwax Special Dark Finishing Wax, because it just does a lot, it's very, very light. And I made a messy bow. And I think I'm going to put that on there. And I think I got a little bit of, I'm going to put a little bit of Sweet Annie. And then I went in Silhouette Studio and done a print and cut on a tag. I pulled a tag in, and then I put the Be Mine on there and the heart. And then I printed it out, and then my Cameo cut it out. I did some more. I didn't just do this one. And I don't think I made any more with anything on it, but I went ahead and filled the page with some tags because I didn't see any sense wasting the sheet. And now with this tag, I'm going to kind of crumple it up a bit so it's not new looking. That's good enough. It's not new looking. Okay. And then I'm going to take my dauber, of course, and distress ink. This color is walnut, and I need some more. I think I said that once before. And I'm just going to go around the edges of it. Pretty good. Got something on that. Oh, my ink, or my little pad's getting worn out. Okay, that looks good. Put that up. Now, before I start putting this together, if I can find, yeah, I have wire. I'm going to put the hanger on it before I start putting it all together. I just drilled 2 little small holes in each corner. Okay. I'm just going to take this around the dowel rod. Yeah, that's good enough. I may have too much wire. Get in there. Alright, that's good. That is too much wire. Get my dowel rod. Just flatten that down there. Alright, let's see. I did take my heart and wrap some cheese. Well, I cut 2 pieces of cheesecloth in half because it wasn't quite long enough to make a bow, so that gave me a little more room. I've done that. Tied a bow up here, right here, and then of course I made the messy bow, and I'm going to put the Sweet Annie on there. Okay, and I got my wood stash, and I had a little primitive heart, wooden heart, and I painted it the barn red by Ceramcoat. Oh, lovely. I hit my coffee cup. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to clean up my mess. Well, guys, I am back. And it wasn't as bad as it looked because most of the coffee was absorbed by the craft paper I had down. It was just a little on the floor. It didn't take me long to clean it up. I went and got another cup of coffee, and I've set it to the side where I cannot hit it. And where I was at, where was I? I was putting the Sweet Annie and the primitive heart on the bow. And I did stop and add just a little more Sweet Annie on that. And now I'm going to work with this tag. Here's my scissors. Oh. Get me a piece of jute. I'm going to half it. Squeeze it enough to go through there. Pull that through there. And I don't want to go too hard because I don't want to rip my tag. There. Now, how far? I'm trying to figure out. Probably going to have my heart right in there. Alright, I'm going to make a knot. Probably right in there. Cut this off. I think I want my bow going more like that. Okay, I'm going to put that up underneath there so that not liking that. Yeah, more like that. Put that up like that. That's going to be hanging right there. Okay, now where do I want everything? I think I'm going to put my bow right up there in the very corner. And I was wondering, I have these strips. I was just cut off of something. I don't know if I want to use them or not. I got to hold it up and look at it. There's with it, without. Well, I think they're okay. They're just a little too big. So I'm going to cut them down just a smidget. Well, come on. Oh, I put my heart on the wrong side. I was going to put it over on this side. Oh well, that's okay. Nobody will even think anything about it, nor will I once it's finished. All right, right there like that. Kind of put that up there. Now, glue my heart down. Oh, wouldn't you know it, I ran out of hot glue. All right, I think it's down everywhere. That needs to be fluffed up some. All right, it is finished. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next one.